Tell your story like you mean it. Soul liberation. The truth will set you free. Who am I? Well, first of all, I am an eternal soul. I am an eternal soul. Sat Chitra. Actually, let me go up here. Sat Chit Anadana. I am in the middle of my yoga teacher training course, and so that's part of it also. But I have always had the awareness that I am an eternal soul. So now put that aside. Who am I? I mean, what, the ego side, the here on earth? I mean, I could tell you my experiences. We're all one. I am you, but I am you from my perspective. If you can grasp that, you know, just a little, just to add a little bit, you know, my parents got divorced when I was like 5 years old. My dad passed away when I was 9. When I was 15, I got sent away to a therapeutic boarding school. What else? Yeah, and then from there, I kind of came back home. That was for my like sophomore year, technically. So then after that, I came back home, and it would have been the beginning of my junior year, but I decided, because I got some extra credits at the boarding school, that technically I was able to graduate early, and it was like I could have either had like half a schedule of like high school, like public high school, like half a schedule or just take like a shit ton of electives or something that like really didn't even matter. But like for the ones you needed to graduate, it was like I could have had half a schedule for 2 years essentially. And I decided, fuck that, I'll just have a full schedule, full day of school, and just double up on, I think it was like history and, what was it? Maybe math? Because I had an extra English, or was it science? I think it was history and science, actually. I needed just one extra credit in each of them. So it was like I was either going to do 2 more years of school for like those 2 credits, or just double up on those, have a full day of school for 1 year, and just graduate a year early. But with that, I really didn't know whether or not I was actually going to graduate a year early until the end of the year, when I passed all my exams and everything. So that was interesting. I passed everything. I graduated a year early. But while everyone was like prepping for college, or, you know, that, I was kind of like, I mean, it kind of depends whether or not not like I ever thought I wouldn't graduate, I guess. So it wasn't that really, I wasn't ever worried about it, but like I also wasn't planning the same way as everyone else. I also like just didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I had an interest in psychology, or being like a nutrition dietitian kind of thing. Both of those sort of things. So yeah, and then well, like one of my first cars, like I got my driver's license and I immediately went directly to like a manual car, like a stick shift. So like I always drove a stick shift car, and I really liked cars. I liked working on my car and stuff. So after I graduated, I was thinking about going to be like a diesel mechanic, or like part of the NASCAR pit crew or something like that. And that was like what I wanted to do. So after that, I went to BOCES and did this auto mechanics program, and got a job at Valvoline, and I was working at Valvoline. And it was, I don't know. But in that time, I also got alopecia, which was interesting. And like I lost like from like here down, like I lost all the hair in the front here, and it was while I was working at Valvoline still. And it was so annoying, because like I'd go to greet someone in their car, and like some of my hair was like growing back, but it was like super short. And some customers would be like, oh, you have oil on your head or whatever. And I'd be like, oh, what? No way. I'd be like, thanks for telling me. And then I'd look, I'd be like, it's my fucking hair growing back, douchebag. Anyway, which at the time I like just didn't understand. Looking back, like, this isn't something I just realized. This was something I realized years ago, kind of. I think that was just really me living out of alignment. Knowing that I had a different path to be going down, that I wasn't meant to be working for other people, no matter what it was that I was doing, like regardless, even if I was still working on cars, like I knew that I was meant to be an entrepreneur or some form of that. I've always found myself in every situation, like being around the business owner or whatever. So anyway, like we just clicked, like we're on the same level of understanding and stuff, you know? It wasn't ever like I was there just to be like robotic and like autopilot. Like I was always curious to learn. I always had good input and stuff. So anyway, I stopped working at Valvoline. My stepdad is a master electrician, owns his own company. So he knew how like mechanically inclined and stuff I am. So he was like, you want to apprentice with me? And I was like, I'll give it a shot. Why not? You know, I hear electricians make good money. So then I started doing that, but then I started drinking heavily. Because there was still something that wasn't quite aligned. Whereas like I really enjoyed doing electrical work, like a lot. But there still wasn't, it felt like I kept getting my time taken away from me in a way. Like I always felt like all these responsibilities that I had to attend to were taking me away from something else that I was supposed to be doing. And I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to be doing. I couldn't, because I was like, I enjoy this thoroughly. And also, though, I feel like it's not the satisfaction, though. It wasn't hitting that total satisfaction in a way. Like, I just knew there was something else, and I still couldn't figure it out. And I just was drinking very heavily. And not understanding, getting into very karmic relationships with men. I was very, very surrounded because of what I was into. I was just always surrounded by men and not surrounded by women. I wasn't around a lot of women. I also know now, knowing what I know, it makes sense why I did what I kind of did and enjoyed it thoroughly too, is because I have strong masculine energy placements in my birth chart. Like I have more, my birth chart's predominantly more masculine than it is feminine, so to say. So it makes sense. Yet I am a female, so it's like, it was always a struggle for me because like I found I was easily able to adapt to that kind of male lifestyle, if you will, like the rhythm of it, the waking up early, like working Monday through Friday, 7 to 3:30, and just that kind of thing, you know. But like I also was it was easy for me to do, but like it also left me extremely out of sync with my femininity, which I think that was kind of always the piece that I was missing. I didn't have a balance of doing something else that I was connecting with my femininity, me being a female. So, yeah, I drank heavily, to escape, and I ended up getting 3 DWIs, got my license taken away for 10 years, got it taken away in 2017. My last DWI was in 2018, and I have not been good. That doesn't mean I've been sober, but I didn't get in trouble, but I still don't have my license back. I'm still working on that. Not having a driver's license and working in the trades, being a female and it being predominantly male has been a struggle. It's been a learning lesson, to say the least. To say the least. I learned discernment through that for sure. I always want to see the best in people. I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but people tended to have alternate intentions with wanting to give me rides and whatnot. It's gonna rain soon. I should probably go take my dog out. I think I'm gonna end this here, and I'll have to come loop back around because now I finally put it to rest. I retired it, so we'll come back with